Although Shoutmon Crossheart is being hyped as the best deck coming into the BT10 meta, there is another cross deck right behind it that could prove to be just as powerful. And if we take into consideration Blue's history of ruling the English metagame, we may very well see this deck take over as the top cross deck in the game when it reaches our shores. Let's take a dive into the archetype and learn how to pilot Blue Flare. Many people are calling Blue Flare Blue Hybrid 2.0, and the comparison is not unfounded, as the archetype has access to several conditional and unconditional stun effects, the most powerful of which is Metal Greymon. This is the linchpin card of the deck and the driving force behind the deck's core gameplay loop. Metal Greymon can be played from hand for 3 memory if you have access to both of its cross materials either in hand or on your board. When played this way, you can then stun up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon with less cards in source than Metal Greymon. Usually this means any Digimon with 2 or less cards in source will be stunned. Metal Greymon also gains Rush, allowing it to immediately capitalize on its cross materials' inheritable effects. When attacking, Greymon allows you to unsuspend, while Male Birdramon will allow you to stun yet another target, granted the opponent has 2 or more Digimon on their board. If fully resolved, a Metal Greymon play can stun up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon and clear 2 of their security for only 3 memory, which is an incredibly high value play. However, the deck can further extend beyond this with Decker Greymon, your secondary level 5. Decker Grey can digivolve over another level 5 for 2 memory, or over one of your level 4s for 4 memory. It can also be hard played for as little as 5 memory by crossing a Metal Greymon and a Decker Dramon in your hand or on the board. Whether it's hard played or digivolve, you can use the effect to place another Blue Flare card type into its sources from either hand or from under one of your tamers. More on that effect later, which allows you to easily fulfill the condition for its second effect. If you have Decker Dramon in sources, you can stun any of your opponent's Digimon, regardless of the amount of sources they have. Decker Greymon also boasts Armor Purge and a beefy 10k DP, making it a sticky threat which can also benefit from Male Birdramon and Greymon's inheritable effects. Now you can start to see the picture this deck is painting. Much like its predecessor Blue Hybrid, Blue Flare is a deck that focuses on going offensive while simultaneously preventing the opponent from defending themselves with blockers or mounting a counterattack on their following turn. Now let's take a look at some of the supporting cards which are going to allow you to execute this strategy flawlessly. A hallmark trait of all blue decks is their access to consistent draw power and search, and Blue Flare is certainly no exception to that trend. Starting off with Gaussmon, this is the token rookie of the deck, and it is actually a great enabler for the strategy. On deletion, Gaussmon allows you to play a level 4 Blue Flare Digimon from your hand. It only has 1000 DP, meaning it is highly likely to die in security, allowing you to pressure with chip damage while simultaneously advancing your board, not dissimilar to the way Eismon's Scatter Mode operates in its respective decks. The effect is especially good when you consider that all 3 of Blue Flare's champions have excellent on-play effects. Greymon allows you to search top 4 and add 2 Blue Flare cards, including options and tamers, to hand. Male Birdramon allows you to either play a Kiriha from hand for free, or if one already exists on the board, then you can recycle a Metal Greymon from your trash back to your hand. Decker Dramon draws 1, and then draws 1 more for each Digimon on the opponent's board. All the champions also come equipped with the save keyword, allowing them to go under one of your tamers instead of the trash when deleted. This is important as Kiriha, the Blue Flare general and linchpin tamer of the deck, allows you to use the Digimon under your tamers as cross materials. He is also a set to 3 tamer, meaning seeing him early on in the game is vital to your success. Luckily, this is facilitated by what is perhaps the most overloaded card in Blue Flare, Blazing Memory Boost. For 5 memory, you can check the top 6 cards of the deck, add 2 Blue Flare cards among them to your hand, and then play a Kiriha among them for no cost. You can then delay to gain 2 memory, just like a normal Blue Memory Boost would. Factoring in the +2 memory from delay and the fact that Kiriha would normally cost 4, a fully resolved Blazing Boost will actually net you a +1 memory gain while adding 3 cards to your hand and board. While this won't always be the case, Blazing Boost is obviously a huge enabler for the deck and a vital piece of the deck's engine. Now that we've established that core engine of the Blue Flare deck and the cards that will make up the majority of your build, let's go over some tech cards that you can use to finish out your build and secure victory over the opponent. Considering the deck's inclusion and need for tamers in order to enable the save mechanic, hybrids become an obvious inclusion in the deck. Kumamon can strip a source to put things in range for Metal Greymon to stun. You could also consider adding the one of Tommy and a Korikaku or two for further strip and stun shenanigans. This small defensive engine grants you solid protection against aggressive decks, while also allowing for some cool play extensions on your turn. Leomon's blocker combined with the on deletion ability to gain 2 memory or 3 memory if you have Gomamon in source, in addition to drawing a card, is hugely disruptive for the opponent and can potentially freeze them out of swinging for game. On your turn, you can aggressively attack with Leomon in hopes that it will die in security, so you can gain that extra memory to go for a big play. If you want to get really cheesy, a copy or two of Jerry can further enable the Leomon while also being a conduit for save. The plethora of on-play effects in the deck make it ripe for some Kaiser Nail shenanigans. Imagine going for a full board stun with Metal Greymon into Deckardramon play, and then Kaiser Nailing out the Deckardramon underneath to draw like 5 cards. You can also Kaiser Nail out a Metal Greymon from under Decker Grey for sudden extra attack, or simply bring out Greymon or Male Birdramon to use their respective effects as needed. Kaiser Nail costing 4 means you'll be playing face value or less for these on plays, meaning you won't feel too bad about the memory cost. If you really want to go cheesy, Tidal Wave can do the same thing on a larger scale, but the 7 cost may just be a bit too steep. You can use this Greymon as an alternative cross material for Metal Greymon to grant it security +1. If you manage to get the Blue Flare Greymon into source as well, you can feasibly attack twice for 4 checks, giving the deck access to some surprisingly fast aggro gameplay. The downside, of course, is that it is out of color and is a complete brick outside of the Metal Greymon play. The classic boost cards are still useful in the deck. Howling can help supplement your strip and stun gameplay, while Vanilla Blue Boost can add even more consistency if that's your style of play. The most problematic blue tamer finds a home in this deck once again. Stripping sources to enable Metal Greymon stun is of course very good. The +2 memory at the start of turn is an excellent extender, and it is of course a tamer to save your cross materials underneath. The Jellymon package adds a few cool tricks to the deck that make their inclusion worthwhile. Jellymon lets you draw when playing a tamer, including if Kirihawk comes out off of Blazing Boost, giving you even more value on the play. The inheritable to bounce a level 3 when adding a card to your hand can be triggered multiple ways in this deck, either Upamon Draw, Blazing or Blue Boost adding cards to your hand, and the draw/search effects of your champions all count towards this effect. This is a useful ability to clear out pesky floodgates like Terriermon or Psychmon type cards that will otherwise completely shut down your strategy. Startling Thunder can also clear a floodgate in a pinch, while also being an effective card in cross matchups by allowing you to bounce back a tamer and trashing any cross materials it has underneath. As previously noted, rookie floodgates can be a huge problem for this deck. Unlike regular Crossheart, which has access to great removal like Sunrise Buster and Fireball to clear them, Blue has to get a bit more creative to deal with these threats. The aforementioned Jellymon Inheritable is a good option, if a bit inconsistent. These 3 cards provide a much more reliable answer. Forbidden Trident lets you clear 1 rookie on attack, or 2 if you have Greymon Inheritable active, and costs the least amount of memory at 1. River of Power can clear up to 3 rookies, while Supreme Cannon clears all Digimon with 3000 DP or less, and these both cost 3 memory to activate. While they are effectively the same card for our purposes that we require them for, their different wording could lead to one being favored over the other depending on what is popular in the meta. And there you have it. That is BT10 Blue Flare in a nutshell. I have up on the screen right now my personal list. I've been messing with it the last couple of days. I have to say the Leomon engine is especially good at slowing down Shoutmon Cross. If you're looking for builds which showcase some of the other tech ideas I listed, check the description for some .dev links. Overall, I must say the deck is extremely fun to play and will certainly have representation at competitive events. If you miss Blue Hybrid's stun and gun gameplay, or are just looking for another blue deck that isn't Garurumon, this is definitely a great pickup which will likely be inexpensive. You can pretty much build the whole deck out of a box or 2 of Cross Encounter, making it a good entry point for newer players who may be more intimidated by the rainbow color gameplay of Crossheart. Will this be a tier 1 deck in the meta? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. GG's.